Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time for another episode of Living Hope, a weekly journey designed to provide hope, inspiration, and education for those living with pancreatic cancer, sharing the real-life stories of those really affected by this deadly disease and how they deal with it on a daily basis. With our host for the holidays here. A couple of people dressed in red here. Not Roberta, she's in purple.
I know, I just can't seem to get out of the purple. What can I say?
But it's the holidays, and we're going to talk holidays here.
Yes, we are. Holidays are supposed to be happy and full of love, and sometimes they can be very difficult. So we thought we'd ask Stephannie Ruvalcaba Ho to join us today and kind of talk about some ways that we can deal with the holidays and honor the memory of our loved ones and still keep them with us, because it's very important, to keep them with us. So Stephannie's been with us for a few times with us. She's been a caregiver to her mother-in-law and also to her grandmother.
Yes.
Right. So
it's got to be the hardest thing to, I know when my first year after my father died or my mother died or whatever, that first year, it seems to be the hardest, or if they died before the holiday, that first holiday. Does it get easier over time, or is it always there? I don't know.
I'd say ache is less, and over time, the sadness turns into fond memories. You just start thinking more and more about the good times, or decorating my tree. It reminds me of my grandmother. She made Christmas so beautiful. Every year I pray for her Christmas magic. And when I see my tree done, I think grandmother, like my grandma, she would have loved this tree. Every year she would have been so happy to see my home decorated, and us baking cookies and carrying on traditions like making tamales with the family, and having Santa Claus come to the house.
Yeah, it's hard because I can't say. I mean, it depends. The first holidays is always the roughest.
Absolutely.
But then the ones after that, I just never know what's going to happen and what to expect. So you kind of have to go with the flow, because sometimes it seems like, not that it's easy, but it's easier or different, but where you can kind of get through it. And then other times it's just like something will happen and I just, you really, really miss them. So it's, I think I mentioned before, my mom and dad had a certain place on the couch where they would sit during Christmas when we'd open presents and stuff, and for the longest time I wouldn't let anybody sit there because that was their spot, and it felt really uncomfortable. But I think through time we've been able to make them part, which is something that's important we want to talk about today. So
I think you said it in a way I'll never forget. You said at some point the hurt turns into happy memories. You still remember them, but the first time you remember them you can't think of it, but then later on I think all of us have holiday memories of parents, something they did or they said or they like to do or something here. And I think of my own parents, and I think now those things don't make me cry, they make me smile. I remember the things we used to do. But in the beginning, it would make you cry to think of those things.
Yeah, you look forward to it in a way to make sure that you instill all those things.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, my stocking was my dad's work sock, So I always
his work sock.
Yeah, it was
Hope he
sock.
washed it.
Yeah, it was clean. It was white. It was clean. But that was what I hung up every year was my dad. So I always try to make sure that I have that and put the same things in our stockings at home that we did, when I was a kid, which was like nuts and oranges and some fruit along with the candy canes and the good stuff. But yeah, so things have changed quite a bit. I don't put up, my kids, they get to have a real stocking.
I get a real sock.
But it was just like I said, it's just a memory, something that now makes me laugh, whereas before, it would have been as something sad. But it's memories, and it's important to keep them alive, I think. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but that's my take on it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
No, I find it's important to keep memories alive. I think my grandmother, when she was sick, she told me, don't forget me. Please don't forget me. Think of me, okay? Remember me. And, the holidays, I think of her every day. And we just made tamales this past weekend. And my sister's granddaughter, so it would be my grandmother's great-great-granddaughter, she was at the table making tamales, spreading masa, and I looked at that little girl and I thought, gosh, my grandmother is right here with us, loving these kids, and so happy that we're carrying on the traditions that were important to her and are important to us,
Yeah, I think so. And I think, like I said, that first holiday can be difficult, but I think if you can try to instill something that your family that they did, I think it makes it a little bit easier. And I've even had people tell me that they leave one chair empty with a place setting.
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure I could do that, only because it would be a constant reminder. But I think to have the dish, like, my mom, she was famous for her green beans, and we have that every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. And it's just something that we all enjoy and look forward to, and it keeps her there with us. But I think it's important, like you say, not to forget. And I mean, why are we here if we're going to die and then we're going to be forgotten? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, it goes back to your thing you say at the end of each show. As long as you remember, as long as you say my name, in a certain sense, I'm still alive, even if it's just in your memory. It's when people stop remembering your name or remembering you exist, and you're just a photo in some album from a long time ago. What does the community do during this period of time? Is this a tough period? Do pancreatic cancer organizations do extra outreach, extra gifts, extra things, extra counseling? I don't know. What do you do during this period of time, or does everybody just sort of handle it on their own here?
No, you can reach out to patient services, and they'll can give you some support groups that you can go to. There's a list of them. We also have one that happens, every Friday that a survivor does that, people can go to and talk. But I think a lot of it is reaching out, whether if it's to a family member or to, somebody professional, just to reach out, not to keep that feeling inside, because it's okay. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. I mean, if you're feeling sad, angry, whatever you are feeling, it's okay. And let's just get it out and deal with it. But many organizations have support groups. So, you can go to, like I said, pancan.org or Let's Win, or Hirschberg, any of those, and find a support group that will help you through the difficult times. And a lot of them even put things on their website that you can read and how to get through the difficult times. And I was actually going to bring this up a little bit later, but actually the church that I attend, St. James in Newport Beach, they do something called a Blue Christmas. And people can go and find out about that and sign up and go. But it's dealing with, exactly what you're feeling, knowing not everybody feels happy at Christmas time. And it's okay to feel that way.
And you feel almost forced to feel happy because there's happy music, everybody's happy, Happy New Year's, Happy Merry Christmas. And you're like, yeah, right.
That, and you want, like, whoever, your family or whatever, you don't want to maybe be bringing them down too. So there's kind of a fake happiness that you're going through, which can be very stressful. So I don't know. I'm kind of gotten to the point to where, whatever you're feeling, it's okay. Let's
Do people
feel
ever
it.
cancel the holidays and just say, no, I can't do it this year?
I've heard from people who did. They don't put up any decorations. They don't put up anything at all. The tree, they don't celebrate at all. No presents. And it's not just the celebration, of presents, obviously, but they do nothing at all. And I think that's kind of hard
Trying
too.
to just treat it like another day.
Yeah, just like it never happened. But I don't know. I think you kind of miss something when you do that too. So
you're going to give us some tips or ideas on how to handle the holiday here?
Well, I think, Stephannie has a lot that they do. I'd like for her to talk a little bit more about what her and her family does, and just the joy, because you can see.
She's wearing red, so she's...
yeah, she is. She's all Christmassy, and we have some little Christmas decorations Paul put up. Looks really nice.
Yeah.
Little tree, a couple reindeers here. So I think, just getting sometimes into the mood can really change you. So in a good way, if you can kind of find some, like, happiness or good times in there. So maybe Stephannie can share with us some of the things I know she does besides, tamales and all that, but a little bit more detail what you and your family do.
And give us the background again. You were taking care of what, your grandmother or your mother? I forgot.
I helped take care of my maternal grandmother, and I was more of a supporting person in that sense. But I was an actual caregiver for my mother-in-law.
That's right. And then, what time of year did she die? When was it like? I don't know why so many people die close to the holidays or right after the holidays. They sort of hang on for the holidays.
So my maternal grandmother, she actually, like the typical, woman, she hung on for us until New Year's Day, or actually she officially passed away on the 2nd. Mm-hmm. So she lived through the holidays. And it was really important to her that we keep doing anything Christmas during that time. So we made cookies, we decorated cookies, we played music, we decorated the house. We had a Christmas tree for her to see, 'cause she loved decorating the Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas Tree was her favorite Christmas carol. And we sing it every year. My family, we sing Christmas carols on Christmas Day with Santa. And we sing that song, in memory of her. And
So what was it like that first year? You're trying to force yourself to go. You probably didn't feel like doing it, but you want to do it for her because it's important to her. How do you get through it? What do you tell other people struggling with these same issues?
well, I wanted to honor her, and it was important to her. And as a caregiver, I feel strongly that we are there not only to make them comfortable, but to try to keep their spirits up if we can. So keeping a smile on your face, and sure, you do have to fake it, but I feel like I owed it to them to have a smile on my face so that they could see love and not a struggle. That was important to me when taking care of my loved ones. And so with that, I felt like I needed to keep the traditions going, to put a smile on her face, to make her happy. And it was hard. It was like putting a mask on. And the mask was a little heavy. But, while we were in the middle of, singing Christmas carols, it got a little easier in those acts because I could see her happy. And I promised we'd keep the traditions going, and that made her feel good, knowing that what was important to her is important to us, and that we'll remember her in those times. And sure, it was difficult. I'd say the first few years it was hard, but now, we'd say, oh, Grandma would have loved this, or she would have made fun of this, or my last name's Ho, so she probably would have went shopping and found anything ho, ho, ho at any store and bought it for me. And so I feel like, I'm smiling right now because I could just see her bring stuff for me. So I think that helped her in that time. And the holidays, her being ill during the holidays, that was hard. And I think it was hard on anybody that loved her, that came to see her. It was hard on them, because they'll always think back when they think of her and think of her at that time. It was during Christmas. Yeah,
I think remembering your last Christmas, your last holiday together is always difficult. But, for the longest time, like my mom, her song is, Jingle Bell Rock, and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Those are the songs that we always attributed to her. And for the first year, it was really difficult. I couldn't really listen to it. I'd hear it, and I'd have to either turn down the radio or change the station because, it just was something I wasn't ready to do. Even though my mom passed away earlier in the year, the first holiday without her was very difficult. But now, we hear Grandma Got Run Over by the Reindeer, and we laugh because remember her reaction to the song the first time she heard it. And, we would always say this is, Granny's song. And so,
What about people who are in hospitals or hospice situations? So that's going to be even harder because you're trying to carry on and they're obviously in a bed or something here.
Yeah. It's difficult, but for what I've experienced, I don't know if Stephannie has a different one, but from the hospital staff has been really step up a lot and do something extra and make sure. I mean, even Santa Claus comes to visit the adult patients and whatnot, so they do what they can. And I think the family, a lot of us, take turns and go to visit, somebody when they are in the hospital or whatever, and try to make it as pleasant. I have right now, my nephew is in the hospital and probably will be for Christmas, and I know the nurses are doing an awesome job trying to make him happy and feel good. And, I'm sure we'll, be decorating his room. And, there's just a lot to do. And I think that even helps you. It makes you feel better because you're bringing something, joyous to somebody who maybe not be feeling so good. And I think when they see that you care, that might even make them feel a little bit better as well. I don't know. Was your grandma sick during Christmas, her last Christmas? Or?
Yes, she was in hospice, so she was home. But I think, like you said, the hospital, they let you bring in. I always brought in, if they were when she was in the hospital, I brought in a framed picture of us together, and a mini Christmas tree. Like you said, decorating, and it's giving a gift. And I know it would make me feel good to know that people were thinking of me, and I know it made my grandmother and my mother-in-law. People brought flowers. She was in hospice as well, and it was right before the holidays. And she felt good that people were thinking about her, that they cared about her.
Yeah, I was in the hospital during Christmas one year, and it was something that, they came and decorated my room with the cards, and the nurses, like I said, and everybody did something a little bit special, to make you feel at least good. I mean, you can only feel so good being there, but it made you feel like, man, these, people really do care.
Yeah.
And I think that is the feeling there, is just knowing that they care. And then for us to be able to go and give that, I think is very helpful for what we're going through as well.
I agree.
My mom used to go in the hospital a lot. She had Parkinson's and other things and dementia. So before she died, many years in and out of the hospital around the holidays and every year. And at one time, I said to my dad, I said, I don't know what to do anymore. And I don't know, should I be trying to be up? Should I be somber? Should I be asking, what do I do? He said, just be there. Mm-hmm. We all think we got to do something perfect for people when they're ill. Just be there.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything. Just be there.
Just be there.
Touch their hand.
Yeah.
Just,
I thought that, I'll never forget that. Just be there.
Yeah, it's not the words that you say, it's the action that you do. So, I think that's really important. If you can be there however it is, whether it's a phone call or now we can do Zoom or whatever, just the fact that you're there. But the personal, to me, is always the personal visit. That personal touch is really important. But if you can't do that, reach out however you can. You said your grandma, did she have a favorite cookie that she liked to make? I know she did. Did she do like the tamales and?
She did tamales. I was telling my dad I have a memory. She was my maternal grandmother, but my father was really close to my mom's parents, and I have a memory of him mixing masa in the sink and then doing the sink test, and my grandma being all excited because my dad was strong and he was mixing the masa for her. We always did a trick tamale, so we would stuff it with beans or a hot dog or something, and whoever got it was like the joke, right? She liked to make, she was an excellent cook and baker, and she liked to make sandies. And oh man, they were so good. She made fruitcake, and I know people are like,
I
gross.
never liked fruitcake.
Oh, hers was good.
I can't get into fruitcake. Dry.
Hers was not dry.
Oh,
it was good. And then she'd make those Hershey Kiss cookies, the peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kiss in them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and those were good. I can't think of, gosh, it's been so long since, I've had anything from my grandma. Banana bread. That was a big deal.
Banana bread.
Yeah.
This is sort of off the topic, but this is sort of one of my common themes I talk about this time of year. When I was a kid, families did all this stuff. A lot of cooking, a lot of getting together. Maybe it's because we live in a packaged society and everything. I don't see young people embracing. My daughter, I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but she doesn't want to do any of this stuff here. My wife doesn't want to do this stuff anymore here. I see so many couples, younger couples. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little bit, but not like we used to do, where it went on for days, or lots and lots and lots of effort, because it's a lot of effort and everybody's working. Money, whatever. I just feel, is it just me? Maybe it's just my family, but I feel like traditions are falling by the wayside. Few.
I think they are in a lot of families, but I think like we try to keep as much alive as we can. Like I said, my dad's favorite thing was fudge, so I have to make fudge every year, and it has to have pecans in there. So and like I said, my mom's green beans. So there's something to keeping up the tradition with tamales that you're.
So you think your kids will do that? On. Your kids will, as they have families and stuff, or will they make fudge and beans or something or whatever?
Probably as long as I'm alive, I'll be doing it.
That's what I'm saying. So, but at some point when you pass the baton and they do it.
But I hope so, because they are very interested in like getting some of the family recipes. So now when I'm making something, hopefully they're not listening. My plan is to maybe give it to them at Christmas, is to start a recipe book of the family recipes.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, because it's something they have asked for, and like I said, they're men, so it's like, oh, okay. I would have thought more of that from my daughter or daughter-in-law, right?
Right.
But both boys have asked for certain recipes. So now that I'm making them, I'll make them, take a photo, and I'm entering that into the thing. So hopefully they will continue at some point.
In Hispanic households, I know tamales is still continuing. That's still a big deal.
Yeah.
But other than that, what do you think? Do you have kids, and are they going to carry it on?
Oh, I think so. My boys, they're teenagers, and they were in the kitchen making tamales along with us and asking questions or giving their opinion on the meat from last year to this year, and they enjoy eating them. So I think this is maybe one of the last years my mom will do it, because it's so much work.
Yeah.
And so hopefully she'll allow me to do it, and then it'll be, my boys might be more involved, but they like all the traditions, and we've added some in so that when it comes time for them to have their own families, they'll be able to carry those on, like having their own personal ornament. And one of the things I did after my mother-in-law passed was I had their elf send.
When did this elf thing start? I know when I was a kid, this elf on the shelf. That elf has to. Do you know the whole deal? This was new to me a couple of years ago when my grandson asked for where the elf on the shelf was, and then we got to move it all the time when he's not there.
It's a secret. So it was
Sorry
meant.
if he's listening.
All these parents, their elves are bad, and the kids get to see bad things. But what it was really intended for was this woman came up with it so that her kids would behave. And the elf was watching, and they couldn't touch it, because it was magic.
If you touch it, then it blows all the magic.
Yeah. So now,
which is why I touched all the elves last year.
They're
done.
They can't see, but you hide it, and the kids have to find it. And of course, my elf would be like, "Stop fighting with your brother," and but I would have the elf send or bring back from Santa Claus an ornament from their grandmother, and it was always an angel. Mm-hmm. And they loved getting that. And the first Christmas was so hard, especially on my boys, because it was a difficult situation that we were in. We moved to another state, and we were living in someone else's home, and they were so close to their grandmother. We lived together. When she got ill, it was really hard on the boys to see her like that. Instead of playing with them, she was in bed. So that was a tradition that we have a new one, but that we'll keep, and hopefully they can carry that on. But, we make gingerbread houses, and we make Christmas ornaments.
I'm coming to your house.
It's fun. Goodness. We have so much fun.
I'm coming to your house. That's all the things. We don't do any of that stuff anymore.
We like to go see the lights at Naples. Even though they're older, they still want to do it.
I love to go see the lights. Yeah. I have to drag everybody. Let's go see the lights. And they're like, we've seen them every year. I don't need to see them again.
It's fun. It's so much fun. And they love all that, bringing their kids or their friends or having their cousins come over. And we like to bake cookies, so we'll make the cookies. I won't tell you what we call them, but
now you got to.
Now you got to tell us.
It's embarrassing.
It's okay. We're family here. It's just the three of us.
I don't know.
Just the three of us here.
I don't know if it's appropriate for radio talk, but the Hershey Kiss cookies, and so now I make them, and my boys enjoy making them. We have the big mixers going, and we pick other cookies to make new recipes that we think might be good. So we're gonna make candy this year, and
candy. You can make candy. Who can make candy?
The kind with the cherries and the filling, and we'll do gingerbread this year, and of course we'll do our traditional Hershey Kiss cookie.
Okay, I'm not letting you off the hook. You got to tell us what you call it.
At least off the air. Off the air. If it's off the air.
Because I don't want to offend anybody.
We'll post it here. I think holidays are magic, but they can be, as you get older, they can be sad, and that's the whole purpose of this show here. Because as I was looking at a picture, talking about sad, I was looking at a picture of my mother, her sister, and her brother, and their various spouses and kids, my older cousins. I realized there's not a ton of people in the picture. I'm the only one left standing.
Yeah.
That's another, I'm the last of the Mohicans here. I'm the last of the tribe. I thought, whoa, that hit me. They're all gone. All my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and their spouses and their kids there's some younger kids or something, but I'm the oldest one left.
Well, I think, too, a lot of times we don't stop and think about the person who doesn't have anybody, who doesn't have family.
Yeah.
And then you bringing that up is something that's really important because, they're the ones that I think are more apt, maybe we should be concerned about, that, doesn't have anybody to celebrate with or to even talk to.
How many people have to go through all this alone? How many, particularly seniors, they get cancer, any sorts of thing, they have to deal with this alone. They're divorced, their spouse died, their kids are far away, or there's a fight or whatever, 1,000 reasons. I think there are more and more, and that we're living so much older. I always said when my aunt died, my aunt was a very social person, belonged to church choir, women's groups, worked forever, loved all the stuff. But by the time she died at 93, I think there were 3 people at her funeral. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Her whole network had disappeared.
I think it's important if you can, to open up your home to people that don't have a place to go. Or my mom, she's really great at this. She'll say, "Oh, what are you planning for the holidays? What are your traditions? What do you guys like to eat? What will you be doing this year? How will you spend it?" And when someone says we don't have anywhere to go, she says, "Come to my house." you're welcome to come.
Yeah, that's nice.
We
yeah.
have a lot of food. She said some of it's a little cheesy. We have Santa Claus come and we take pictures with him. It's my brother. And
don't spill the beans. Right?
and we sing Christmas carols, and you don't have to, but you're welcome to. And we sing karaoke and we dance.
Wow.
And she tells people, and different people show up, and we play games too, you know.
Oh my goodness.
And it's so great because then if they don't want to,
We eat and watch football. That's all we do.
they don't have to stay alone if they don't want to. And you know, and it's great because then they kind of have like they can see they understand, I think, each of us a little more when they see us together.
So what time should Roberta and I show up?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Okay, we'll be there with our Christmas gear on here.
But, you know, inviting people to join you, or, you know, just checking on them. Hey, you know, I know, you know, this might be a difficult time. Would you like to get together, or how's it going? Or is there something that I can do to make it a little more comfortable for you? I think checking in on people, you know, if we can remember, is a good thing.
Yeah, reaching out. I did a program this year, which I hadn't heard of before, that the post office put out, which I thought was really great. You could either write a letter. Oops, I don't want to give too much. I guess you shouldn't, huh? No kids listening, but you could, you know, you could help Santa by you know, writing letters because, you know, he's so busy and whatnot. Just playing Santa, and I thought that, to me, that was something that was really refreshing and something I really enjoyed, because you want to give to somebody who maybe doesn't have what you have, or for whatever reason. So I think reaching out, looking what your community offers that maybe you can get involved with to help somebody out there who may not have family or may be alone. And I always worry about our homeless people, you know, because they're out there in the cold.
True,
and
right.
you know, so getting really, I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but any kind of blankets or towels, big towels that you can give, and maybe just going off and, you know, dropping them off. I think even though we've lost, you know, our loved ones, I think if you're out there doing something, you feel better.
Yes.
And even if you don't feel at the moment like going to Stephannie's house and celebrating, I think once you get there, that it's going to rub off on you. So instead of staying home and just, you know, dwelling on it, get out and find something.
Because it's hard to ignore the holidays. I've tried that a couple times.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You see every commercial every time. And this year they started so darn early.
They start earlier and earlier, July, and it's crazy.
Yeah, which was, you know, and it's something that, you know, my church had also pointed out that it was starting earlier this year, but somebody said, well, maybe that means we need God in our life more. And maybe that is it. But, you know, it's a really tough time. And I don't want people just to think, you know, you can feel whatever you need to feel. You're not wrong in what you feel. But let's at least try to get out and just remember that person that we've lost, and, you know, keep their memory alive, however it is, whether it's through a song, a letter, a picture, you know, a recipe, you know, something. Let's just try, you know, to make it the best we can. And I don't know,
because it helps you get through it, and it helps honor them. It's the best of both worlds. They don't get forgotten. Doing
something in their name, you know, I find helping people helps me in grief. So maybe, you know, encouraging people, you know, I know you're sad, you know, maybe getting out there and helping the homeless, or Toys for Tots, or a toy drive, or a clothing drive, or a food drive, you know.
I said grief is one of the strangest emotions, because your body tries to tell you what to do. If you're sick, you sleep. But when you're grieving, you just want to be alone, and that's not really the best thing to do, is just be alone and dwell on it.
No, I think it makes it worse.
I think it does.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, I've gotten in the habit, and I'm going to blame Dawn for this, is watching a Christmas movie. Dawn Camber, who is a host here on another show, but she got me into watching Christmas movies on the Hallmark Channel of all things.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
she loves all the, she was talking about it before. I can't wait to curl up and watch all these dopey, sappy
they're
Hallmark
so good, because they
movies.
end happy. I have a Christmas movie list on
my
my
goodness.
phone.
Oh,
yes,
my goodness.
yes. And so when people ask me, oh, what are your favorite movies? I have it, and I forward it to them.
But, you know, sometimes, I mean, yeah, they're cheesy, and you know how they're going to end.
Oh, my goodness.
But really, when you watch it, and if you cry and you're able to whatever, that kind of helps. So
a release.
Yeah, so I think, you know, any way that you know, if you're grieving, you know, like I said, sometimes it does help to release it. It does help to cry. I may not be able to laugh right away, but it does help to get out there and cry. So pick one of these cheesy movies, watch it, cry your heart out, and hopefully, you know, it will help you, because it's just something. grief, like Paul was saying, it's so different. It's so different for everybody,
Yes.
and you never know when it's going to hit.
And there is no
either.
right way to handle it. That's what
Correct.
I've learned. Listen to this show. Everybody wants to say, "Well, you've got to get out. You've got to do this. You got to do." And I'm like, I don't got to do anything. You know?
Yeah, no, it's just whatever is right for you. That's the right way. But just if you
But
can,
don't give in to just wallowing in it. That doesn't help. That doesn't make it go away.
No, if anything, I think it probably makes it worse. So just if you can do something for your loved one that they would have enjoyed, then, let's do it. Any parting words from Stephannie that you want to leave anybody with?
Parting words.
Words of wisdom?
I'm
Words of-
amazed that you really the depth of your traditions. Here I started off saying that, I think the traditions are fading. Families don't have as much time, as much money, as much effort. They just want to go out and buy something. The commercial part of it's still big. Everybody gives toys and presents, and they decorate the tree. I get that. But I don't know that they play games and sing carols and do all the other things. It's like you sort of come, you rip open the presents, and then you eat and watch football. Maybe that was just my family's tradition. Not that exciting, Wow, I'm coming to her house. You should film it. Put it like a Christmas special.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we could do a little extras.
People
right?
ask, like, is this really what you do? When we started
like a
volunteering at a
Hallmark
food
movie.
bank. Yeah,
There we are.
so that I'd say start new traditions of your own. And
That's how we should do this. Everybody should start a new tradition. Just come up with something. This year we're going to make whatever. We're going to do something. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to give something. We're going to come up with something creative. That's the challenge.
Yeah, a new tradition, I'd say, I think the best kind are the kind that make you happy and help somebody.
Yeah, I agree. And for Thanksgiving, I actually started. I don't know why I never did this before. I made my first homemade cranberry sauce.
Ooh. there
And
you
let me
go.
tell you, that was so darn easy. That's the new tradition. And I've also learned how to make apple cider. So those are my
Oh,
two new.
nice.
Yes.
You can make apple cider?
Yes, you can. I was very much surprised, and it turned out really great. So that's going to be, the new things. But I agree. I think if you can add something new every year, and we do
Yeah.
the same. We did an angel for the Christmas tree after losing my mom, dad, and my mother and father-in-law. So it's just something, they're part of that tree. They're part of that tradition,
There
and
you
it's
go.
something we need to keep. So
There you go.
today I wanted to, it's a little different dedication, but I do want to dedicate it to the church that I go to, St. James in Newport Beach, because I love the fact that they're doing this concert, that it's okay to feel blue. And it'll be my first time attending, so I'll let you know how it goes.
It's a great idea because it acknowledges what's underlying this thing for a lot of
Exactly.
people.
They're telling you it's okay the way you're feeling, and it's next
Yeah.
Thursday. And if you want more information, you go to info@stjamesnewport.org.
And it's open to the public. It's just like a concert or something.
It is. I don't know if there's a price for tickets. I haven't gotten that far yet, but you can go to their website and it'll show you on there what's needed. So.
Other than that, we'll all be at 5 o'clock at Stephannie's house
There you
playing
go.
games, singing songs.
Bring the spiked apple cider.
Spiked apple cider, homemade apple cider. I'll bring the booze.
That's welcomed.
All right, good stuff. Well, it's worth talking about this because too many of us just try and hide from all this during the holidays. You got to talk about it. All right, thanks, guys. Well, there you have it. Hopefully that puts a little happiness into your holiday here. It gives you some thoughts, ideas. It's okay however you feel. It's a special time, and we enjoy you coming back each and every time to this special event. Living Hope, weekly journey designed to provide hope, inspiration, education for anyone and all living with pancreatic cancer. If you are suffering or know somebody that is and needs help, always the numbers to start with. Lots of places, Hirschberg Foundation, PanCan. If you want to call them, it's 877-2, the number PANCAN. And if nothing else, just join us every week as we continue down this journey of trying to figure out how to navigate this one. Living Hope, right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live from our studios at the University of California, Irvine's Beall Applied Innovation Center.